And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get, your podcasts, of course. On this week's Pop Culture Cosmos, what's going on, Greg? Pop Culture Cosmos this week, we talk about The Conjuring, The Last Rites, with the big surprise at the box office, plus the greatness of Hollow Knight Silksong, Call of Duty gets a movie, and more. We go ahead and talk about all that, including some of the video game, movie, and TV adaptations coming your way in the not-too-distant future. We go ahead and talk about that, because there's always something to update about now, because Hollywood is now suddenly liking video games as stories, because they've run everything else dry. So let's go back to the video game world. So they're doing that. So we talk about that and so much more on the latest Pop Culture Cosmos, wherever you get your podcasts. Also coming up this week, hopefully I can get an Inside Sports Fantasy Football done this week, where we'll talk about week 1 in the NFL. It's not time yet to panic. Don't panic. Don't panic. Watch out. Slow down, everyone. Don't panic. Just monitor the waiver wire. See if there's someone you can pick up. There's a couple good players that had some good performances there. Maybe change up your lineup a little bit. It's going to be okay. We'll go ahead and talk about a little bit more on that, hopefully this week on the Inside Sports Fantasy Football Show. Also, as well, of course, what's up, Intel? I'll explain in a minute. What's up, Jerome? Great to have you here. Jeremy, what's going on, my friend, down under in Australia? Antoine, great to have you here as well. Tough So, yes, King Sorrow in advance. The monarch himself, he said he would be joining us. We gotta wait till the Dodgers are over. Dodgers are over. Well, Dodgers have been over for a little while, so they won. Yes, so he should be coming here in a little bit. He should grace us with his presence in a little bit. And you can check out Joe at the Joe Sorrow Experiment on Playback, and also the Joe Sorrow Experiment on YouTube as well. Of course, also, a very happy camper is obviously Empire Jeff of Empire Jeff TV. Happy that the Dodgers won and are on a little bit of a roll now. Got some pitching a lot better now as far as their starting pitching is concerned. The relievers are still not so great, but the starting pitching has been pretty good as of late. So go ahead and check out what he has to say at Empire Jeff TV as well. Of course, our good friends, the Lakerholics crew. I'm hoping they'll be back this weekend. They couldn't do it. Couldn't get together on a time or a date for this past weekend. So hopefully this weekend will suit to their taste. But go ahead and check out what they do during the week as far as causing havoc with each other, complaining at each other, arguing at each other at Lakerholics.com. And tell what's going on, my friend. Love your support as always right off the bat. Cannot thank you enough for the super chat. Truly appreciate it. Let's go. Absolutely, indeed. Again, hopefully we will be joined by the monarch himself. Truly appreciate you joining us. Xbox, what's going on, my friend? Told you this weekend we'll get into some gears. Looking forward to that. Intel Wild says, let's go. There you go, Ralph. Great to have you here as well. Again, it is Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for watching this thing. Don't forget our good friend Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Yo, he's been putting out some great stuff. Actually put out some great highlights tonight. Let's go ahead and check out what he has to show right there for you at Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Right there, indeed. All right, guys. I thought we would escape the rumor mill for at least a little while, but no, it's dragging us back in. Yes, dragging us back in. That pail of water from the rumor mill is coming back in because Mark Stein, among others, have tried to pass this around. In fact, I've been doing a little bit of work behind the scenes and seeing some of my followers and some of the guys that actually also work on the NBA in Miami, talking about it at length. Will Andrew Wiggins be traded, and will he be traded to the Lakers? That's the latest news and information there, but the latest scenario has a mock trade going out right now as far as I think that what fits under the salary cap as far as how it would look or close to it. Dalton Connect, Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, and draft capital, which, again, your mileage may vary on that, for Wiggins. And Wiggins, just to let you guys know, this upcoming season is $28 million, and next season is a player option, which he will pick up because he will not get a bigger contract than that, and that will be $30 million and change. Yeah. You got $30 million. The change is nice there, too, on the back end as well. So, yes, he's getting 28 this upcoming season and 30 the next year after that. So, my question to you guys out there while we wait for Mr. Monarch himself, Joe Soro, is Andrew Wiggins worth it? Well, I mean, he's only 30 years of age, does still play pretty good defense out there. His defensive ratings are still pretty good. His offensive ratings, since he moved from Golden State to Miami, have been okay. Been not too bad, about 18 points a game when he was in Miami. But he did have the issues his final years in Golden State, including taking time off for personal reasons for an extended period of time. He did have some injury issues that he had to attend to as well. And there's also the fear that he played his best games in the championship series, the series that he was an MVP of, which I know a lot of people still have a lot of issues about. I think him and Andrew Iguodala where actually Wiggins actually played well. It wasn't actually, obviously played like an MVP in that finals, that he did not too long ago, because he played at such a great level. And I know that the question's out there, can he make even anywhere close to that level again? Because regular season since then for him, he's not come, and even in the playoffs when he was with Golden State, did not come close to that level. So I'm asking you guys out there, because I have my own thoughts on it, if he is actually that guy indeed. So that's the thing I want to go ahead and ask you guys, because it is interesting to see the difference in opinions on that, because again, he is more of a two-way player than almost anybody on the Lakers team. There's no question about that. I will not take that away from him. But is he still going to be a guy that can play in games at a high level like he did once before? That's, I think, the question that a lot of people are asking themselves when you have to spend $58 million to go ahead and bring him on in. Plus, it detracts from the goal that I know that Gregory's not happy about, but Rob has implemented as far as freeing up cap space for 26 and 27. Because if you're trading away Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, you're trading those guys away for Andrew Wiggins, then you are actually costing yourself a lot of that free money that you're trying to free up as far as that's concerned for next summer. Jeremy says Miami's in a worse position than the Lakers. True. They did have a worse record, under 500 last season. We don't want anything to God. So would that include Bam Adebayo too, Jeremy? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Hero, I mean, as a scorer, I don't know. Your mileage may vary on that, but, the kid does have a little moxie, but he does also have a, somewhat pricey contract that is talked about. But Bam, I know a lot of people have been in love with Bam on this show, or as far as in our chat is concerned. So is Bam Adebayo a player that you guys would say no to? Tuff says we already worried about Ayton and Smart coming through. Now a third guy to wonder about. Again, it's just the rumor of the week. A rumor of the week, Tuff, because as you and I both know, the Lakers are the center of the rumors of the NBA universe. So it continues. But this one was put out there and out there like a known name, Mark Stein, a Substack, who formerly of ESPN, actually someone who still is out there with his ear to the ground, the NBA scene. Maybe the rumblings are more on the Miami end because of the fact that, they would want draft capital and they probably want to get rid of the $58 million that Andrew is getting as far as the next 2 years. That's no. He will not, Travone. He actually becomes a free agent at the end of the next season after that. He gets, again, like I said, 28 this year, 30 the next. So he becomes a free agent in the summer of 2027. So if your goal is 2027, okay, but the thing is, does he give you good enough play for the 27 to $30 million that he's being paid? That's the question. Jeremy says he's not a fan of Bam either. I know he did take a step back as far as his game, which is part of the reason why the Miami Heat were under 500 last season. So I get that. I'm not saying otherwise. I mean, a peak Bam Adebayo would be an interesting fit on the Lakers team, and I'll just leave it at that. Oxide won't want Wiggins either, I'd say. I don't know if he was serious. That's one thing when he gets on the show, Jeremy. I'm going to ask him about Paul George, if he was serious on that, because I thought he was using it just as an example. I wasn't sure. I should have clarified that. I know I was talking to Gregory on the comments. I'm hoping he used that as an example because Paul George at mid-30s at $50 million, that's not a great fit. That would be kind of disappointing. And speak of the monarch himself, it is King Sorrow himself, Joe Sorrow. Blades for the Y.com. Joe, great to have you here. Everybody's been asking for you, so looking forward to hearing what you have to say. First off, before I forget, were you serious or just using him as an example as Paul George on the last show? Were you serious about Paul George as an option, or were you just using his money as an example?
It was a realistic option if he's having a good year and Philadelphia isn't. A trade that would put the Lakers in a position if they feel like they need one more guy to go win it all and have it be realistic and not have it in a way where the Lakers didn't have to give up a lot to get him. The circumstances would have to be perfect for that to make sense.
Okay.
And
all right, because I don't have faith in Paul George. You'll forgive me. He's mid-30s. He's had a lot of injuries. Here in Las Vegas, he broke his leg. Wasn't that correct? He broke his leg when he hit the stanchion during the Olympics and whatnot, tryouts and whatnot. So yeah, he's had a lot of mileage. I just don't share your faith or confidence he could ever justify that contract again. With all due respect, Joe, on that.
Well, they wouldn't be strapped with it for more than a couple of years if it meant it would be a giant risk, a huge gamble. But if they end up winning a championship, making the move, then it doesn't matter if they have to deal with 2 bad years after that. It would have to be an extraordinary scenario for them to make a deal like that and for that deal to be presented so that LeBron can essentially go out a champion as a Laker. And that changes the whole dynamic of LeBron's career as a Laker if he ends up winning a championship in the last year as a Laker. And of course,
I just don't think, again, like I said, 35. I just don't know what he has left, Joe. I just honestly don't know what Paul George has
this
left.
This would not be about what he has left. This would be, do they see in February one more piece that could get him over the hump? Could they see a Rasheed Wallace type scenario or a Clyde Drexler type scenario in 95, Rasheed in 04, where that guy kind of takes them over and allows them to win a championship? Then you don't mind dealing with the last 2 years of his balloon contract. And that's just a scenario I
3 years, by the way. He's got 50.
Well,
I'm
not counting this year. Yeah, I'm not counting
Okay.
this year. I'm counting
Okay.
2 years after that. There's better options, obviously, but what would be presented? What would be the likelihood of Philadelphia saying, God, we got to get this thing figured out because they're not likely going to compete? That would have to be a big part of this. And it's a shot in the dark, but it's something that I would look at it and think about a little bit if they are a player away of his caliber.
The expirings, Jay, get more valuable as you get closer to the trade deadline because, again, as I say before, you'll find teams that are willing to go ahead and already know that the direction that they're going in by February, So they're more inclined to make trades that will free up cap space for them to fix whatever they need to get fixed during the course of the summer. So yes, that's a common thing as far as that's concerned in the NBA. As it gets closer to the trade deadline, those expirings do become a little bit more valuable. Like you said, the Lakers only have one tradable first, and if that's the case, I don't know really what that'll get you as far as the top end player is concerned. And I know that a lot of people will still be coveting it because even though that the Lakers will have Luka for that first round pick, when that first round pick comes up to bat, it still they're the teams would be gambling on the Lakers to be not as good as maybe they would be in the coming years, as far as if they were to get another high caliber talent like you're talking about, Joe.
Because of the structure of the contracts for some of the bigger names, because of the CBA being what it is now, because the Lakers are in the unknown at the moment in terms of what the roster is going to look like next year, even though we sort of have an idea. Barring any crazy injuries, we still won't know until we'll have to base it off history. In the history of the Lakers, especially the last 50 years, they've always seemed to, 60 years actually, have acquired a piece in some way that allows them to win a championship with that piece. And while Luka's that piece right now, he plays into the equation. They're going to build around Luka because they're not going to need another one. They just need a really good number two, maybe a couple of threes. And they're going to have the ability to do that next year when LeBron's contract drops, if they don't win it.
Soros says, talking about the EuroLeague tournament, which tomorrow Luka will be facing Germany along with Slovenia, his teammates. Will be facing Germany. Soros says Jokic has favorited to win the tournament and got upset by Finland. Luka is playing with trash cans and carrying the wins. You tell me Jokic is the best player in the world. Yes, Soros.
Yes, Jokic is right
now the best player.
Yes, yeah, he's been the best player, and Luka has a chance to make an argument the next 5 years of the player of the decade. Right now, it's Jokic by a mile, maybe 4 miles, maybe 20 miles. He is the 20 when if nothing changes between now and the end of the decade, Jokic is far and away the best player of his era. There is no argument. There isn't an argument.
You guys see one EuroLeague game, and all of a sudden your minds have changed, and it's just so funny to see this argument as far as it's concerned. I have to laugh at you guys. Come on, how many MVPs does he have this decade? Come on, he is the best player of the decade. You guys can't argue that. You guys can't. Now, from this point forward, could he be still the best player in the league? We'll have to wait and see. But as of now, heading into the season, he is still the best player on the planet. That may change. SGA or Luka might start to take over, but we will wait and see. But up until this point, the first 5 years of this decade, you guys can't seriously have any type of argument against Jokic on that. And we're not exactly this huge Jokic marks, as they would say in wrestling. It's just the facts. It's just the evidence is there. The overwhelming evidence is there that no one can fight against. Not Giannis, not SGA, not anyone. Not Embiid, LeBron, anyone can fight against that. It's just there. It just sticks out. And it's just something that you guys have to get used to. I won't say from this point forward if he'll remain the best player in the decade, Joke. And that's not fair to anyone out there. But as of now, you have to say he is the best player right now, despite losing to Finland.
Yeah, I just haven't had a chance to watch most of the Eurobasket. I have not seen one full game yet. And I probably won't. It's just not in the schedule. But Luka's a different player than Jokic. As much as you think they're the same and they're comparable, they're not. One's a big, one's a point guard. You don't compare, in my view, you don't compare Kareem to Jordan. It's It doesn't make any sense. It's like comparing a pitcher to an everyday player. They have different sets of philosophy. There are different sets of execution in their game. Now, modern centers have obviously adapted more to a point guard, point forward type offensive mind, but they're still different. They're just not the same. Jokic goes to the elbow and uses his huge physique to create a very uncomfortable area for whomever is guarding him. And the fact that he's tall and has got long arms, can look over anyone, get the ball to the right people who are in position to score or in a position to shoot. And then if you can't, if you neutralize that, then he's going to shoot over you. He's going to bump you. He's going to move you around, and he's going to get the shot that he wants. That's not how Luka Doncic plays. Luka is step back, step forward, run, get to the basket, full steam ahead type of player. It's just different. And who's more valuable is there's a argument for both. And right now, Jokic is ahead because he's already won. And even though he's dropped a couple of game sevens, that happens. He's competing. He's competing. We've talked about this. If the Lakers were losing game sevens, and I'm not saying I want us to lose game sevens. It actually hurts worse to lose game sevens. But when you're factoring in value, if you're losing in game 7 against the eventual world champion in the second round, it's a little bit easier to understand why it didn't go through than it would be losing to a 6 seed as a 3rd seed and getting your butt kicked the whole game, the whole series. There's a difference. In the end, it's in terms of the technical results, it's not. Neither one won the title. But if the Lakers were losing to the champs in the second round in game 7s, we're probably not getting as upset with the process of the roster right now. We wouldn't be talking about that. We'd be talking about more of like, man, why can't these guys get past this team?
So it's like, oh, he has a bad game, or he's triple teamed, or he's double teamed in a EuroLeague game. Then all of a sudden, these guys' opinions completely change. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. You cannot go away from the facts, And then we chewed you guys out last time because you're talking about the defense. The same thing can go for Luka on the defensive end too. You can't throw that at us as far as his defense. Because then you'd take the same arguments with Luka. His defense. What he does and what Luka does to an extent, as far as making teammates better, is something only generational players do, Joe. And Jokic has definitively made players on his team better for years now. And it's just backed up by the MVPs, the stats, the championship that he won. It's just there. I don't like saying it because he's not an LA Laker, but the truth is the truth, Joe, and you can't run away from it no matter how many EuroLeague games you watch.
I guess international tournaments can dictate things in terms of talent, but not really.
Evidently.
We're a society of information at literally on our fingertips, and when we see a couple of good plays in any situation, even in summer league, this argument that certain players are going to be in the rotation because they played a couple of good games in summer league, it's a delusional discussion to the point where even on my esteemed website Lakers Ball, which I haven't mentioned in a while, they are full. Most of the people there are in full support and full understanding that there's going to be certain players are going to be available to play in a rotation that I feel have absolutely no business being on the team, let alone being in the rotation. And it's going to dictate the philosophy of the leaders on whether they decide to do that or not. The Lakers' worry right now should be, can we get LeBron James playing like he did last year with less minutes? Can we improve Austin Reeves? Just a hair, a little bit. Maybe hitting his three-point shot a little bit better. Maybe creating a little bit more opportunity for himself, however he can do that. Or the offense can do that as well. Can Rui do something? I don't know. I don't know. I'd like to say DeAndre Ayton is going to play better than he did last year because of contract wants. Marcus Smart, I have no idea. He may be done. His body may be checked out, but we'll find out. And then we got guys like LaRavia who are new. Maybe he ascends in this year. I think that I heard someone say that and said maybe this is the year where that particular player kind of takes the next step. And that's happened in the past. That happens to certain players depending on where they are. I'll give you a good example. So Ron Harper, back in the day, that he was touted as the next Jordan in a lot of ways, at least athletically. And then he shredded his knee, and then he came back down to earth. And then you saw him kind of, he still was a regular, played with the Clippers, and actually made a couple of playoff runs with Larry Brown coaching. But then when he went to Chicago, he went to a whole new level. It's not comparable to what LaRavia is in terms of talent with Ron Harper. I'm not saying that. It's not about talent. I'm talking about there's certain scenarios that'll make a player go up a level just because of the team they're on and what they're asked to do. And Ron Harper flourished and became a integral part of 5 NBA championship teams. LaRavia just has to do what we were hoping Dalton Knecht could do in his second year, because we don't know if he's going to do it. That's the focus. That should be the focus right now with the Lakers, not whether someone might be in the rotation. If you're worried, if you're going to be talking about whether some guy is going to be in the rotation, that shouldn't be anywhere near the team, let alone the rotation, then you have problems. And you're going to see what that will be very soon.
I'll just say this, Joe. Again, I'm not a huge supporter of Nikola Jokic unless he comes on to the Lakers. But the facts are the facts. 3 MVPs, 2 MVP runner-ups, and a title this decade. I just wrote it there. You come back to me, oh, well, he didn't play so well against Finland, blah, blah, blah. I'll just come back with you with that sentence. I'm not going to waste my time because there's no need to be wasted on it. There is no better player this decade than him. And now from going forward, I don't know. I don't see what's going to go on as far as the future. If I could, I would have predicted the lottery numbers for that $1.8 billion. There you go for myself, if that was the case. But it could happen to where Luka may take that step up and take that mantle as the top player for the rest of this decade. SGA may take that mantle as the top player for the rest of the decade. But as of now, heading into the season, you still have to put Jokic as the best player right now on the planet. And it's that simple. He may not be in the greatest of shape because that's what I'm seeing in the articles surrounding it ever since that he lost. The excuses get flown around as they always do in losses like that. Maybe that's the case. That wouldn't be the first time we've heard Jokic not being in the greatest of shape. But once he gets back in shape, I mean, the guy is essentially a triple-double, a walking triple-double at 7 feet, which, again, for the center position, which you guys are talking about as far as him on the defensive end, as far as the center, you have to give him credit there, too. It goes both ways, where you guys don't give him credit because he doesn't play the defense that you want from the center position. You have to give him credit because he plays the varied offense from the center position that few have ever done. I think it goes both ways on that. So you have to pick and choose. While I see it one way, You guys see another. Yeah, he's not great on defense. He's terrible on defense. But Luka is not a whole lot better and has not been a whole lot better in his career. Will that change? We'll wait and see. I'm eager to find out. Luka has the ability right now, and has the window and has the door open to do just that. He looks like he's in great shape. He looks dominant in EuroLeague, and I'm looking forward to seeing him take over that spot over the next 5 years, Joe.
Okay, so I'm going to give you guys an example of stop looking at the now and wait till the season is over, wait till the year is over, wait till the career is over. Magic Johnson didn't win his first MVP until 1987. Before 1987, Larry Bird had just won 3 straight MVPs, and he had won 3 championships going into the 86-87 season. Everyone and their mother, like you guys are doing with Jokic, said Larry Bird is number 1, and it's not even close. Think about that for a second. From 1980 till the end of 1986, Larry Bird had won 3 championships, beating Magic in 1, losing 1, obviously, and then had just come off probably the best. You could argue the 1986 Celtics were the best team, singular season team in that decade, even though the Lakers won more titles that year, that decade. There's an argument that the 1986 Celtics was actually the best team of the 80s, which says a lot because there has never been a more competitive decade and more greatness in NBA history than in the 80s. Most competitive, star power, everything, drama. You had it all in the 1980s, the golden era times 10. So at the end of the 1986 season, the Celtics had just won another championship. Larry Bird's third. He had just won his 3rd straight MVP. He had 3 MVPs after 1986. Then, by 1990, the end of the decade, Magic won 2 more championships, one against Bird in that process, and won 3 MVPs. Then that narrative changed pretty quickly, didn't it? No one talked about Bird in the early 90s, guys. It was Magic number 1. Not a lot of people know that. Everyone was saying Magic was the greatest player of all time until Jordan hit that shot in 98 in Utah. And then at that point, and it was there before even that shot, but that was like the sealer because he won a 6th championship and Magic had 5 at the time. You guys understand now? All this yapping about something. Can you let this thing finish? I keep hearing about this Ohtani thing, right? We're talking about how he's the greatest player of all time. Yeah, we're saying it because we're Dodger fans, and I'm saying it because I'm seeing him do things I've never seen anybody do in baseball. I wasn't around when Babe Ruth was doing it. That's the only comparison I could put it to. So he's the best I've ever seen. However, can you wait? Ohtani has 8+ years left on his contract. Can we wait? Let it play out. It's very likely Ohtani, barring a major injury, is going to hit 500 home runs, and he's probably going to win 3 or 4 championships and have a few wins here and there as a pitcher before he puts the pitching glove up. And then we're going to see, who knows, maybe we'll see some NLCS MVPs and some World Series MVPs to mix in with what will likely be 6 or 7 MVPs in the regular season.
Dirk, Luka hasn't proven it yet. Does he have a title? Does he have an MVP? He's just proven it in EuroLeague. He might be the best European player in EuroLeague basketball history. That's fine. You want to say that?
Luka is becoming the best player on the planet a little bit right now because we know he's focused health-wise. He's shown it on the court. And come January, February, if he's dropping 30 a game and averaging 9 and 9 on rebounds and assists, and the Lakers are a 2 seed going close to a 1 seed, yeah, then you can say, you know what, Luka's the best player in the world right now. It's very Jokic by stats and hardware is the best. But when you compare Jokic, you compare Giannis, you compare Embiid, you compare Luka in those areas, you can see how it goes back and forth, though. It could be a couple months. It could be half a year. It could be a full year. But nonetheless, it's staggered. You don't know. We're talking about the entire decade when you factor in the entire decade for Jokic. He's number one. But throughout that time, you've seen certain players kind of say, "Oh, he's the best player right now." You didn't see that often in the past. Like it was either Bird or was it Magic or was Jordan or was Kobe or Shaq. Like you didn't see this kind of carousel of, "Oh, this guy's kind of number one right now." Shea Gilgeous right now kind of has an argument too that he's the best. And it's all going to come down to your likes and your wants and your hopes and your dreams. I don't really care about hopes, dreams, and wants. I'm about putting the hardware in the trophy case and putting the banner up in the rafters. Let Luka win 2 championships in a row and give Jokic the 2 MVPs. I don't give a shit. I am a team fan. I am not a fan of individual MVPs, even though I will campaign for it because I want that player to be rewarded for his great play. But at the end of the day, I don't give 2 craps about any of it. All I cared about the last 25 years is 2000, 2001, 2002, 2009, 2010, and 2020. That's my badge of honor as a fan. 6 NBA championships.
These guys are ridiculous. These guys are absolutely ridiculous in the chat. I love you guys. You guys are funny. You guys are hilarious on that time. Luka hasn't done anything yet. Let him do these things first, and then we can have this argument, and then Joe and I will support you 100%. But you cannot say Luka is the best player on the planet right now just because of a good stint in EuroLeague. EuroLeague. Talk to yourself on this. Sit down, look in the mirror, and say EuroLeague. Not the NBA. EuroLeague is what you're talking about. EuroLeague. This is not the best league in the world. You guys are talking about EuroLeague like it's the best thing on the planet. It's not. The NBA is. And Jokic has succeeded at that level now for at least half this decade, even more. I would like it to be Luka. I want it to be Luka, but I can't. You cannot give an argument on Luka yet. You cannot give him that. You say because he took a team to the finals that he deserves it. How? Did he win? No, he didn't win. At least Jokic, when he went to the finals, won. That's the next step for Luka. Once Luka takes this team to a title, then there you go.
All right, I'm gonna put this defensive thing to bed. Are you all listening?
Because either of them don't play great defense. Either are terrible at defense at times.
Is everyone listening? Who's the guy that? Okay, Luka is not the best player in the world. He plays 0 defense. Okay, Raj, you ready? You ready for some ignorant?
Then they also saying
you ready for some ignorant busting info? I'm not saying you're ignorant, but sometimes people are blindly ignorant, not forcibly ignorant. You know how many all defensive teams Magic Johnson was on in his 12-year career? Well, 12 plus whatever he did in 96, which I don't really count. Same amount that you had. Now, I'm going to bring up a modern player who's still playing, just so you can kind of feel that too, because some of you maybe didn't watch Magic play. I'm going to name you one more local, more modern. How many all defensive teams, Gerald, was Kevin Durant on in the last 18 seasons, or will be 18 seasons?
To my knowledge, none.
So know your history, know your roles, know your places. If you're going to come with an opinion, that's what it is. It's an opinion. It's not wrong in your eyes, but you're going to have to bring information that makes sense. You can't sit there and say because some guy doesn't play defense, all of a sudden he can't be the best player in the league. Even Bird didn't make all defense his entire career. He made it in 82. I'm sorry, 83. No, it was 82. I'm sorry. 82, 83, and 84. He was on the all defensive second team. And that was it. Before then, after that, never touched it. And
what do I care? What do I care? No, Joe, what do I care if, or what if Luka was there in the 2023 finals? You don't think he would be? It doesn't matter. He wasn't there. Jokic was, and he won. If Luka wins the MVP, then let's start having this conversation, guys. You guys are just way too presumptuous based off of a good performance in your league. Luka, now that he's healthy, now that he's in shape, he's playing like $1 million. He looks good. He looks like he's one of the best players on the planet. In Vegas, he's number 3 in the odds to win the MVP. He's a very good shot to be in that conversation. If the Lakers have a good enough season, he will be in that conversation. And you can then start talking about him being the best player in the game. But let it get to that point first, guys. Don't base your performances or don't base your opinions based off of EuroLeague.
You want another one, Gerald?
EuroLeague. Yes, please.
How many all-defensive teams did Allen Iverson make?
How many what?
How many all-defensive teams did he make in his career?
I believe that is also 0.
0.
Even though he, I don't know if he ever led the league in steals, but he was pretty good in steals. But everybody know he was just trying to pickpocket people just to,
Know your history. I just mentioned 3 guys. 3 in their primes are as good as it gets. Can't really. You're talking about probably 3 guys that are in the top 25 all time. Think about that for a second. Top 25, 3. So stop with the Luka doesn't play defense bullshit and he can't be the best player in the league. AI won an MVP, Magic won an MVP, and Durant won an MVP. So stop saying the same regurgitated trash that some nitwit online or on Twitter or X, whatever those garbage toilet bowl places are. Stop listening to these people. Listen to me. I know my shit. I'm not 100% right because no human is 100% right. But in this case, I'm a fucking 100% right because I just told you stats that are legitimate and 100%. And that's what you're here for, right? I mean, to be entertained, sure, but you also want to get some information. I just told you 3 different era of players. All MVPs. So you can't sit there, oh, no. No, they were number 1 guys, number 1 MVPs, number 1 talents, top 25 for all 3. There is a 100% argument that those 3 are one of the best 25 that I've ever played. So, listen to me. Luka Doncic will be the best player in this league, despite what you've been told. And history has said that when the Lakers acquire a talent like Luka, they win championships. You know why? Because they always do.
And do you think at that time it would be okay then to talk about Luka as the best player on the planet, Joe?
And I honestly do not give 2 shits about any of that.
Okay.
I care about banners in the rafters. And right now, what's gnawing at me is the fact that the Celtics are up a title again. So I want that to stop, and the Lakers need to get to a point where they are above that before I'm dead, which I'd like to think is a pretty good chance because I'm pretty healthy. I'm 47. I think I got some time. Let's make it happen. Focus on the Lakers winning it all. Don't focus on stupid shit that you've seen online.
Dirk, you're just reinforcing what we're saying. And first of all, I'm not going to bet you $100. Second of all, we just talked about that. So let Luka become the best player on the planet by next season. Then we can have this conversation. But
Why
you're
would I make
talking about now.
why would I make a bet on that, Dirk?
Yeah, that doesn't
I'm
make
not
any
making
sense.
that bet. I want him to be the best next year.
As do I. You guys are crazy out
I
there.
want him to be the best right now. Yes. But the cred is not there yet. Let it play out. You have to let it play out.
Intel Wild says you're one of the three kings in this country. I don't know how. I'll let people decide on
Who
those
said
other
that?
two individuals. Intel Wild said you're one of the three
I
kings in this
appreciate that. I've never been called a king.
I called you. I called you before we went on the show.
Yeah, I've never been called a king. I've never been called a prince. I never saw myself as in that top spot in my life. I've been more of a duke. Just saying, just being honest.
All right, Duke. There you go.
Duke of Wellington type.
Yes, there you go. Duke of Wellington served medium rare. There you go.
So, but again, my wife thinks I'm a king, so that's good.
Fair enough. Trojan, to get you up to speed, Mark Stein has reignited, according to the articles out there in the past few days, because I've been seeing it everywhere, about the possibility of Andrew Wiggins being traded from Miami to the Los Angeles Lakers. I guess the package that comes close to it would include Dalton Connect, Maxi Kleber, Gabe Vincent, and a conditional draft pick, whatever you would want to say that would be. So, Joe, knowing that he would be $58 million on the hook, as far as 28 this year, 30 the next, cap space would be cleared for that in the summer of 2027. Your thoughts on that? He's not to me that, how should I say? He played okay when he went over to Miami from Golden State. I know he got a lot of the troubles behind him, personal issues, injuries, took extended times off before. He did have, obviously, the great finals that he played so well in and was a big reason why they won that championship. I misspoke and said MVP, but yes, he did play well like an MVP because he rebounded, played defense, made clutch shots for that team on that as far as that's concerned. So your thoughts on it? He's okay, but for $27 million a year and then 30 the year after is okay. Gonna move the needle for the Lakers?
Well, a protected first with the expiring contracts in Dalton Connect is actually not that bad of a deal. I'm not a fan of Wiggins. I think he sleeps too
He's
much.
okay. Yeah,
He's a sleeper.
He's, okay.
He's his motivation, and that's been on him since the beginning. That he's always had that issue. However, anytime you can get a body that can D up a little bit, now you don't have to rely on Marcus Smart to be the sole perimeter defender, right? If you can trade what is useless already on your team for someone who is even at average, that's actually a win on a team like this for this year. So I would make that trade if it's just Kleber, Connect, Vincent, and a conditional first round pick. Oh, I do that all day. I do that right now with all the deficiencies because you're not going to get anything from Vincent or Kleber, and it looks like Dalton Connect is mentally messed up. So maybe a stint in South Beach might wake him up a little bit. But at that point, we don't have time to wait. And they have LaRavia that can cover for him at the very least.
So yeah. Soro Alpha says trade Reeves for Wiggins. You can't do it straight up. So you'd have to add it.
I wouldn't do that. No, I wouldn't do that. No. I told you, you gotta bring. You can't make a lateral move for Reeves. You have to either bring back more talent or let it play out because it doesn't. You're not doing yourself any favors.
So again, when it comes to Wiggins.
Yeah,
I mean, he would be one of the better, or if not the best, defensive player on the roster. That's a plus. Like you said, if he's focused and not meandering through like he has on occasion.
yeah, no. The Lakers need to add, not even out. And that would be an even trade, and it could scale up or down, I guess. But I'm not willing to. I wouldn't be willing to chance that. You don't want to chance that right now. You want to see if you have a chance at winning a championship with a healthy Luka and a motivated Luka, with LeBron possibly being able to play at the same level he was last year. And then you have a couple of guys that have motivation to play very well so that they can get the next big contract. I like that trade. And I actually, when I first saw the subject line for the show, my initial instinct is, oh God, please, no Wiggins, please, no Wiggins. But then when you told me the trade scenario, I was like, ooh, that actually would work. What are you trading? You're not trading anything. You're not. You're trading. You're getting better. You're getting a better player, a player that can actually do something.
I think the pick is the concern on that.
I don't care about the pick. I don't care the pick. The Lakers
you don't care about the first.
No. The Lakers are going to be, what is it going to be, a 2031 pick? 2030, 2029, what?
I just don't agree with you. I just don't think he moves the needle enough. I just don't think
he moves the needle, considering that the players you're sending out have no needle.
Okay.
And you want to give this a shot, right? You don't want to waste a Luka prime year. Okay. This is how you do it. You acquire talent that is better than what you have.
Just don't think he's that much better.
You don't think he's much better than Kleber or Vincent or Connect?
I just don't think adding him makes your team better than Houston.
He's better.
OKC
the
or
team
Denver.
Gets better because they're trading what's not better for him. Gabe Vincent, Kleber are washed. Connect is brainwashed. And then a conditional first-round pick, a protected first-round pick, doesn't mean anything right now. Go after a championship if you can. And he'll add, even at average play, he'll add something very, very positive to the team.
Okay. Again, I just don't think
it's worth the risk. That's not really a risk. I guess you could say Dalton Kennett could turn into Kyle Korver. Then we're kind of punching ourselves, right?
Uh-huh.
Sure, that could happen. But you can't look at it. Hindsight's 20/20. You got to look at it in the situation, in its situation. It's a good trade regardless of what happens, because of the setup, because of the players that are involved.
Okay. Yeah, obviously, Keon Coleman, good option if you've got him. Also, waiver wire, you got to pick up the kid from the LA Chargers. He actually had a great game, and Herbert. I know 805 was talking about Herbert. Do you think Herbert's going to have a great season, Joe? I think the Chargers are going to have a pretty good. Going to be pretty good.
I think the thing with the game in Brazil, sometimes you can't really gauge a team's. Yeah, this is the first time they've played in Brazil. Who knows what happened with the transition there with whomever. I'm a huge Patrick Mahomes fan, and I think I've become even bigger fan of his, because everyone's starting to hate him now. And that tends to happen when people see someone that continues to win. And until you bury Patrick Mahomes in the AFC in the playoffs, it's still his conference. Even if they win the division, even if Herbert wins the division, Justin Herbert, and Chargers are a 1 seed, you still gotta get past Mahomes at some point. And if you're fortunate that you won't, you don't have to go through him. Let's say he loses to Baltimore before you get to him. Then that's fine. Then you go about your business. I wouldn't say Josh Allen is better than Mahomes. I think I still take Mahomes. Mahomes is a elite passing quarterback who can actually run. Not as well as Josh Allen, but Josh Allen is nowhere near Patrick Mahomes in terms of passing ability.
Intel Wild just gave us another super chat. Truly appreciate it, my friend. The Lakers management is handling the LeBron transfer to Luka better than they did with the end of the Kobe era. And I don't know if you guys caught the fact that actually, I don't know what you make of it, Joe. LeBron sent some flowers, as far as passed along some flowers to Luka on social media after his great performance in the last game. I don't know what you make of it, but it was there.
What do we talk about winning? The Euro Basket League is not the NBA. However, if you want to compare it to something, let's look at it this way. The Lakers lose in the finals in 2008. That summer, the Redeem Team is born, and we saw one of the more epic finals in Olympic history, and we saw what Kobe did. And that, since we're fans of the word precursor, that was the precursor to the 2008, 2009 title run. And how it played out is Kobe went into that summer, won a gold medal for his country. Unfortunately, Pau had to be second to that.
Josh Allen, think of it like this. Josh Allen is like Luka. Luka has to take that next step to win that elusive championship, Joe. Would that be the case before you could start putting him in that argument with Mahomes?
How is Josh Allen going to catch up to Mahomes right now? Do you guys not realize that Mahomes has spent every single year he has started in the AFC Championship game? And he's been to 5 Super Bowls and won 3 of them. And now you want me to say Josh Allen is going to be comparable if he wins 1? Guys, you got to get your head out of your ass. Patrick Mahomes is the number 1 quarterback in the NFL. He is the face of the NFL. And it's not because I like him. It's because it's his body of work. His body of work. This is a NFL MVP, multiple MVP. 3 Super Bowl MVPs. 3. Let me say that again. He's won 3 Super Bowl MVPs. You know who else has won 3 Super Bowl MVPs, Gerald? Joe Montana and Tom Brady. That's it. Stop with the bullshit. Let the career develop. You know who the best quarterback I've ever seen throw a football is? Dan Marino.
And we've talked about this.
You know how many Super Bowls he has? As many defensive teams Durant, AI, and Magic Johnson have. The theme. Are you guys catching the theme tonight? Are you guys? Am I opening it up for you a little bit?
Because we want Luka to get that mantle. We want Luka to be the greatest player in the world. Because that just means the Lakers are going to be the beneficiaries.
We had this talk about Luka and LeBron a little bit in previous shows, and then I actually had the discussion outside the show with some friends. It doesn't matter if Luka wins 3, 4 MVPs in his career. He's still not going to be better than LeBron James. That's a different beast. LeBron is a different beast. So enjoy the moment. Enjoy the player. Stop thinking about the greatest this and the greatest that, and this guy's not, and this guy is. Enough already. Because if you're going to put the details on the table when you have this discussion. Be prepared, because some are prepared. And we're prepared. Yes, Trayvon, Terry Bradshaw has 4 championships. And when they talk about Terry Bradshaw, I think they forget that, even though he had the steel curtain for 4 of those titles, but due to the rule changes in 1978, that was the Mel Blount rule that changed the NFL. At that time, that was like putting the zone in the NBA in 2002. So what they did was in 1978 season, the league said you cannot touch the receiver after 5 yards. It wasn't like that before then. The Mel Blount used to annihilate receivers until the passing route was pretty much kaput. And that wasn't just Mel Blount. He just did it better than everybody. So once that happened, then that neutralized that skill set, at least for a few years, until the defense adapted. And then Terry Bradshaw was winning championships for the Steelers because he was throwing 4 touchdown passes in the Super Bowl and throwing some of the most clutch touchdown passes in those Super Bowls as well. Beating Dallas, beating the Rams, winning MVP in both Super Bowl 13 and Super Bowl 14.
All I'm going to say, Jeremy, yeah, because Stone hasn't been on in a while because he's, I'm sure, like I said, busy with his day job, but also I know he's probably doing a little bit of analysis here and there. He's on Twitter from time to time, but I know he's probably doing some analysis right now in the EuroLeague. And again, look up Slim Jesus on Twitter. That's all I'll just say, because that kid looks like he's going to be a good one. Coming out of Finland. I'll just
So
say that.
Term outplayed by Jalen Hurts. There's some truth to that in this last Super Bowl, but here's the problem with that.
Oh, hold on, because I want to add on to that, because Soro Alpha said he's been outplayed twice by Jalen Hurts.
He didn't outplay him 3 years ago. 3 seasons ago. I thought they played pretty even. If anything. The loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if you guys remember, Kansas City lost half their offensive line in the AFC Championship game, and Patrick Mahomes was running around for his life. He didn't have one. I felt like he didn't have one play where he wasn't running around like crazy, and he was making some amazing plays too even with that. Outplayed, I think just Patrick Mahomes had a horrible Super Bowl. I wouldn't put it on Jalen Hurts outplaying him. He had a horrible Super Bowl. And Sirianni devised as good of a game plan to neutralize him as he could have in the circumstances. So with that, it doesn't matter. I mean, you still have to look at everything right now. And after that first Philly Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes could have retired and went to the Hall of Fame. That's how good he's been.
JY said, Joe, your thoughts on this year's Hall of Fame class, Carlos Boozer and Tayshaun Prince, really, Joe and G? They were named as far as part of the 2008 Redeem team. So they get in because of that. They don't get in because of their singular talents. They get in because as a collective, that 2008, like, for instance, the 1992 Olympic team was inducted previously, Joe, to the Basketball Hall of Fame. The 2008 Redeemed team with Kobe, etc., they were inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. So if you consider on that, yes, but not on their singular talents alone.
Well, Dirk, I wouldn't say that's. I mean, Bradshaw didn't win a Super Bowl without Chuck Noll. Montana won one with George Seifert, but that was Bill Walsh's team. Aikman won with Barry Switzer and Jimmy Johnson, but that was Jimmy Johnson's team. Like, I don't think that matters. I don't know if I don't really necessarily. I mean, Bruce Arians. I mean, Bruce Arians is a damn good coach for Brady. The other, he won 6 with Belichick. I mean, Andy Reid, that definitely makes his life easier. But if Andy Reid's going to retire in the next few years, so there's going to be somebody else coming. And if Patrick Mahomes is healthy and the team is adequate, he's going to go to the Super Bowl again. I think some of you guys keep digging. It's like the Kobe Bryant and Shaq started this thing in sports where they start nitpicking. Oh, well, he shot left instead of right, so therefore this championship doesn't mean anything. Like, you guys are fucking stupid. Ray Allen hit the shot. Ray Allen hit the shot. Like as if you didn't have John Paxson hitting shots for Jordan or Steve Kerr hitting shots for Jordan. Like, you guys are just not you guys in the chat. Like in general, like the fan is so stupid sometimes. It makes my brain hurt. Like, this is a team. These are all team sports. This isn't tennis. If you're talking about Alcaraz versus Djokovic, yeah, okay. Djokovic can't keep up with him now. Okay, that's easy. You just stick with that. It's a singular.
But sport. Alcaraz has to get there. He looks like he might get there, but Alcaraz has to get there.
You have to also understand, Djokovic he's been doing this for a very long time. At some point, the young stud's going to come, and that's what's going on right now.
I mean, remember when he was the young stud, Joe?
Yeah, he was the one
it was Sampras, you know. Yeah,
he cost Roger Federer a couple of majors.
Yeah.
That probably would have put Federer 100% in the number one spot. Now, in my view, seeing all three play, the greatest players I ever saw in tennis, and I've seen a lot of good ones. I love tennis. 90s tennis was like the NBA in the 80s. It was the greatest decade, in my view, of tennis. You had the best women's tennis ever in the 90s. And then you had really good tennis players, male tennis players. It wasn't as star-studded as the women of that decade, but they were some damn good tennis players. Andre Agassi, Pete Sampras, Goran Ivanisevic. Like, I mean, you had some really, really good tennis players. And that whole decade for tennis was great. And as you've seen the progression there, you can tell, you know, who's good, who's not. There's still no one better than Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic at this moment.
Bjorn
They're 1, 2, and 3. Borg has an argument in the French with Nadal, but Nadal dusted that too. Okay. But Borg retired early.
True.
So if I get to heaven, hopefully, and God says, okay, here's a DVR. I'm gonna put the match that you want, both of them in their primes. I would have loved to have seen Nadal versus Borg in their primes in France, in Paris. I think that would be a gem, right? And then I'd like to see Federer at Wimbledon versus McEnroe. I think that'd be kind of cool. I think he probably does McEnroe though.
That was Raider football that time, JY, with Jack Tatum and all that, and yeah, that was when I was a Raider fan. I'm not a Raiders fan now. I'm just like, I go to the games every now and then, and they're there. I watch the majority of the Allegiant Stadium be for the other team than the Raiders, and there you go. It is what it is at this point. And their offensive line in New England didn't run the ball well at all. Geno Smith bailed them out, so they have to make sure that they can give Genti some good holes, or else they're going to be in trouble. Because at some point in time, Geno Smith can't do everything for you, but we'll see when it comes to the Raiders.
Pete Carroll has the ability to eke out wins when you think the team can't. So that they have something good there going for them. But the mystique is gone.
It's gone. It's way gone.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's even
come to a game. Come to a game, guys, with me, and I'll show you. It's just not there.
It's not. Vegas is a a transient city. Even though there's regulars, obviously, but it's a transient.
Vegas has adapted. Vegas has fell in love with the Golden Knights, Joe, because it's our own. It's the
Yes.
own creation. The Raiders just moved in.
Yeah, and that's different. The Raiders are me going to Vegas to have fun. They're not Gerald Glassford, who's been there.
Like the A's in a couple of years. Yeah, it'd be a nice little stadium and all that.
And I'm not against the major sports going to Vegas. I'm not. But I think they could have done a better job not having that gap. But it doesn't matter. They just care about money. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much to have this discussion because they just don't give a shit. The net worth of the Raiders quadrupled, didn't it? By moving from Oakland to Vegas. So it doesn't matter what we say.
No, it doesn't.
And I'm tired of talking about what should be done in the NFL. Look, if they're gonna do something right, that's when I'm gonna get happy. Like this kickoff that rule change was huge for me. Seeing the returns, I mean, it didn't click, even though I knew the rule changed. Like halfway through the game, the first half of Sunday's games, I'm sitting there, I'm going, I just noticed that everybody's returning the kicks. It took me a minute to register it. I go, this is cool. They're actually running. And I was nervous. Like some of those guys were jetting out of there, and I was like, "Oh shoot! Is he gonna hit the gap and turn the corner?" It was probably the first time I can remember a rule change in the NFL where I was like, yes, it's so much better. Hell, I don't even remember the last time I saw an NFL rule change. I was like, yes, I have to think about that for a second. Oh, I know what it was. I remember the first one was the 2-point conversion. It was in I think 1993 when they put it in. Yeah, I remember. Oh, 2-point conversion. That's a good idea. What was the other one? I'm gonna have to think about that one. It was at the tip of my tongue.
But they really started using it and utilizing it in this modern era, the 2-point conversion. They've gone more to it because the numbers, the analytics, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, I mean, again, it doesn't matter to me. And look what happened to Buffalo this last game. They missed both of theirs. They still ended up winning. And I was critical of McDermott going for that 2 when he didn't have to, because then the Ravens missed the extra point on their next drive. That's why you don't go for 2 unless you have to. Analytics, schleminics, go get it when you have to, because you don't know. Are you calculating in your analytics that the team is going to miss a extra point? No. And look, could have saved yourself a headache. Anyways, I thought the rule changes were good, and I thought the officiating, even though there was some clearly missed calls, but that happens. And plus, I'm not going to be as critical on grabbing here and there for like I'm talking blatant pass interference that needs to be missed, not guys grabbing hands. Like that's part of the sport. But the officiating in terms of hits, I thought was awesome. I saw some freaking guys laying the wood on people, man. I'm talking everywhere. Quarterbacks, running backs. I mean, they were I don't remember. It's been a while since I saw this kind of intense physicalness and not watching flags left and right. So whatever they did, please keep doing this, NFL, because I felt like football came back this week. I really, really felt like football, what I knew it, came back. And I'm very, very excited about it. I hope it continues.
Once again, it's the Lakers Fast Break. It's Joe Sorrell along with me, Joe Glassford. Thank you so much again for watching this. When did I say that? When did I say about the Zach Charbonnet? that not to draft him. I think
You have to get lucky with him.
remember Kenneth Walker was first. Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, he'll score 2 touchdowns one game, and then he'll score 0 touchdowns the next 2 weeks. He's a hit and miss. I always call him Chardonnay.
Nakua is the third or fourth best wide receiver.
Man, Nakua! Did you see what happened to his eye? Oh man, that was scary, man. That was scary. He got his. I couldn't tell if he busted his eyeball. I couldn't. It was not good.
Just right now, a lot of people. First week, it's just the first week. You guys are panicking already. It's the first week.
Trayvon, don't the lot of these guys that didn't play well on the Steelers. These guys didn't play a preseason game. These guys are limited in minicamp. It's very difficult, especially if they're older players like Ramsey and Watt. You got to let them. It took a minute for them to rev up, even though actually Watt was playing pretty well at the beginning of the game too. But got to let this play out a little bit. One thing that you should be excited about is Aaron Rodgers. If he give this guy time, he can still ball. And if Tom Brady can win a Super Bowl at 40, what was it, 42, 44? Aaron Rodgers, if he's got the right setup, can win it too. But I'm not saying the Steelers are going to win a Super Bowl. I'm just saying if all circumstances are even, Aaron Rodgers is capable of winning those games because he's one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, and he can still throw the ball.
Got to keep him upright. Got to keep him upright.
There was this. He sensed the pressure and then kind of slided right, and then went across to Calvin Austin on one of those passing plays. I was like, man, I hadn't seen that in so long. That move is just that's called. I always called that the NFL elite quarterback kind of pass. Like it looks like, oh, he was wide open, so he just threw it to him. No, just a little hesitation, a little movement, a little just and the defense reacts, and then all of a sudden it creates this huge gap on a seam or an out, and then it's just wide open. John Elway, I remember, used to be able to do that all the time back in the 90s when I didn't know yet how all that worked, other than because when I played football, everything was a running play. So I would always see those seam routes to Rod Smith or Christian McCaffrey, the dad. I'm sorry, Ed McCaffrey. Jeez, Christian McCaffrey. It was nice. It just the whole week was great. Even the sloppy Bears Minnesota game ended up being awesome. Seeing JJ McCarthy turn into Troy Aikman out of nowhere, like
that second half.
The hell? So props to O'Connell, the quarterback whisperer. He must have saw something at halftime. He said, "Okay, look, we played a little bit of possum. I did it on purpose, but now you're going to start throwing some touchdown passes because that clown over there, the paint and nails boy over there, he can't throw a ball in the damn ocean right now with any accuracy. He had the movement, he had the speed and the throws, but not the accuracy. So Caleb Williams needs to clean up his accuracy. Otherwise, he's going to have major issues going forward."
Now, if you go best, I like that. If you added Norman Powell and you get rid of Vando in the same deal, I'll give up the number one. There you go. There you got me on that one, best. If you get us Norman Powell and Wiggins in the deal, there you go. I'll do that for you. But you can't do that trade, I think, because Norman Powell doesn't become available till, I don't know if he's a December or a January guy, but one of those months, that's when you could trade him because he signed a contract this offseason. Joe, what do you think the Jabril Peppers pickup? Anything of it?
I think he's washed, but they need a body.
Give us where we. Oh yeah, Trevon, they would be stupid to give up Ware. I like Khalil Ware. I think he has some skills. I'm hoping that it'll translate more into a well-rounded player. But my gosh, the guy can stretch it out, block shots, and rebound, and has some touch inside the paint. I like what I see out of Khalil Ware. I love him on the Lakers, but I don't think that's happening, Trevon. But if you give us Powell in the deal with Wiggins, yeah, I would listen to that more. Yeah, they'll give us Triple J, not Ware. Yes.
Well, you guys also got to be careful. This is Miami, and you know what happens when Miami sends. I mean, I know it's different when you're signing them versus trading them. That one's a no-brainer. The original deal that you talked about at the beginning of the show, that's a no-brainer because what we're giving up is nothing for. Even if he becomes nothing, you're giving up nothing for nothing anyways. The Pat Riley trade, he's gonna get. I don't know if he's gonna make that. I don't think he would make that trade anyways. I think he can get something probably better. Yeah, Jones is starting to get to that area of B as in bust, not Broderick.
You got to get it. You got to keep Rodgers upright. If you don't keep him upright, that's
Fontenot is going to likely have to go back to his natural position. They might have to switch him back to left tackle, and then at that point, you have to deal with what you can deal with. If that's very, very likely that it could happen, unless Munchak can somehow leave Denver and come to Pittsburgh again and teach these guys how to play on the line.
Dirk Mania says, I can't believe Giddey signed for that much. By the way, Giddey did sign today with the Chicago Bulls, 4 years, $100 million. I don't believe there's anything else attached to it. I think it's a 4 year straight. I did not hear if it's a 4th year team option or a player option. So I'm assuming it's just a 4 year as of now. But said, are you worried about Reeves' contract now if Giddey gets 25? Yeah, he's going to ask for more. That's what I said to you guys. He's going to ask for more. Whether
Giddey's a better player than Reeves.
I don't know. I mean, if he gets 25-5 on the Lakers, another 25-5 on the Lakers, I mean, higher profile.
I don't care what he gets. He can't be the second highest paid player on the Lakers. You're not winning if you do that.
But he's going to be asking for it.
I don't give a shit what he's asking for. You cannot have Austin Reeves be the second highest paid player on your team next year.
Well, I did not disagreeing with you on that. I just know what he's going to be asking for. Certainly not 25.
So that's I've made it as simple as I can with that comment. If you go in the next season and you don't have what you need, beware. Beware of that.
He is free to trade now. Okay. Then I'll take Powell. I'll take Powell and Wiggins. I would just do Wiggins. I do Powell and Wiggins. I'll take that one because the shooting from Powell, he played really well for the Clippers. And obviously he would have something to prove because he's probably pissed off at the Clippers just dumping him like they did after he had statistically his best season ever. So I wouldn't mind that. I'll acquiesce. I'll say I'll take the Powell Wiggins combo on that. If you get rid of Vando and those players, there you go. Then there you're talking. If he is free to trade now, if he's an August restriction, then there you go. It's September now. That sounds good. But Reeves, I agree. I didn't say Reeves can't be I don't want Reeves to be a top 3 paid player on the Lakers, but that's what he's going to ask for. If you're his representative, Jay, that's what you would ask for him. I mean, Giddey at the $25 million, Joe, I think is a compromise from what Chicago wanted to pay him and what he wanted. I'm assuming he asked for 30 or 35. They're probably asking for 17 to 22. And somehow they met in the middle with the 25 to make it a nice even round number in 100. So I'm assuming that was a compromise that they worked on for weeks. And you saw months even to get him just out of restricted free agency. And both sides in that situation, one had to give, at least both sides had to give in this case. So I have a feeling that, seeing that, I think Austin's just going to ask for. I don't want to pay him that. I certainly don't want him to be in your top three most expensive players on the team, but there's a very real possibility the Lakers may cave and do just that.
I don't believe Mark Walter will cave to anything. That doesn't make sense.
I hope not. But who's running the team as far as the general manager?
The Guggenheims will be running the team.
Okay.
You're not paying $10 to $12 billion to sit there and wait for Genie to make the team.
Yeah, but Rob's your general manager. Rob's your guy.
So was Mitch Kupchak when Jerry West was the player personnel guy.
Okay. You say that. If that happens and the Lakers sign him for 30 or more.
Yeah, if they sign him for 30 or more, that's fine. Just make sure that he's not the only one. Make sure you get your number 2 guy, if that's the case.
You'll still have, if you just LeBron's salary alone would be, you would still, that's coming off the books, so you would still have some money to float around. Lakers should have, 70 to 80 million for the cap, if not more. So still has some money to play around with. Jay says the Pels ain't giving up Herb for Reese. That's what I would actually, just as a straight up, and not Andrew Wiggins. I would do it for Herb Jones personally, Jay. That's who I would give up those assets for. Giddey is 22 years old, averaging 14, 8, and 7 on 46% shooting. He is also, though, like Luka, extremely limited on defense, though, Trevone. I mean, we go back to that defensive thing again. Yes, he is a possible triple-double machine. Giddey is, and he, to Xbox's credit, that he's noted that he has shot significantly better from 3 in his time in Chicago. But there's still that defense. They try to hide him on power forwards because of his 6'8" size. They try to hide him on power forwards because he cannot guard along the perimeter. As long as you can find a defense that can do that, then you may be able to find good way to keep him out there for that. Trevone says, I've seen reports about a market and trade to the Lakers. Too much money on the books. How much is marketing it?
A lot.
Yeah, I know. It is a lot. A lot. Yes, it's a lot. Trevone, I just don't know, outside of trading LeBron, which, again, he has a no-trade clause, I don't know how you do it because he's like 46 this year. 46, 46, 49, and then 53. That's a lot of cash. But, a lot of expirings. You could do it. You could do it with the expirings the Lakers have. So, but yeah, Kessler would have to be in the deal best. I wouldn't do just Lowry because Lowry is playing better in the EuroLeague, much better in the EuroLeague. I know that's also gone pretty much unnoticed, but yeah, he's been playing well. It looks like he's back rounding into form. So yes, I know he'll be a big trade target for Utah this season. Dirk says if MPJ makes 35 million, Reeves will ask for 40. Good luck. Good luck. Don't eat that popcorn at the Thomas and Mack then. Gotta stay in shape.
You're comparing Michael Porter Jr. to Reeves now?
That's what Dirk said in the chat.
No, Dirk, that's Michael Porter Jr. is a much better player than Reeves. I'm sorry.
Okay. Giddey says, JY says, Giddey schooled the Lakers and Reeves this year and swept the season. Oh, now they're trying to justify who is better player, Giddey or
Giddey's
or
a better player than Reeves. Guys, I don't know kind of. Do you guys watch basketball? Come on. Wake up, guys. If you don't watch basketball, stop talking about who's better. We watch more than just better. Laker basketball. And mind you,
Joe,
I don't watch as much as I could, and I still know what's going on. Imagine if I actually didn't have to work and I could actually watch everything. Yeah, no. Guys, come on.
Well, hold on. It's not just about who is better. It's also about the timing when you ask for that cash, like next summer, as opposed to what is being done
When you
now.
overpay, yes, timing does play a factor in guys getting money that they probably shouldn't have gotten. But the Lakers are not going to put themselves in a position to make stupid contract signings with the new leadership coming in. They're just not. When they've made dumb signings, it was always something maybe small, like a Luke Walton extension, or I still think Mitch Kupchak sabotaged the Lakers by signing Mozgov and Dang, but that's just my little thing. In the end, it's not a worry. It's not a worry for me right now.
So Joe, with Luka tomorrow playing Germany, Germany is heavily favored, but we've seen that before already this week, where Luka has overcome the odds with outstanding performances in EuroLeague basketball. Are you concerned he's doing too much, or could be a little bit fatigued come into camp, or are you nervous about him playing so many games in Euro basketball?
Fatigue from what? He's 26.
Okay. I'm just asking because there are people who are concerned because of he's already hurt a hip in the last game. You know about when the other player fell on his knee, got the bone bruised for a little bit, get a little banged up over in Europe. Coming in,
Sack up.
You were going to say that.
Sack up. You're not going to play basketball 100% free of pain. You play through it. You go do your thing. Go win an MVP and go try to win a championship. I don't want to hear about somebody fell on your knee. Who gives a shit?
I know these. Sometimes I ask you questions and I already know the answer.
My
or what you would say.
My excitement with Luka winning this summer is it sets good habits right before training camp. That winning habit. He's going to taste winning. It's about winning. Doesn't matter if it's a Eurobasket tournament or a preseason game or a training camp game. Anytime you win, it sets good habits for winning. And there's legitimate competition here. It's not NBA competition, but it's competition. And he's getting himself in shape. Training camp starts in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So Luka's not going to have to get himself up. Even the best of shape players, NBA speed, NBA, or let's say basketball speed is completely different than working out speed in a highly competitive environment. So he's already going to have a little bit of that going, and he's going to transition into training camp. He's going to be able to play some games in preseason, and then when the season starts, he's going to be ready because of what he did this summer. And that winning, if he wins it all, that'll just add to that mentality, being conditioned to win. Winning never stops. It doesn't just happen on a court. You're winning off the court. You're winning at practice. You're winning at one-to-ones if you're playing a player that on your team. Winning creates good habits, and it seeps into everything.
JY's asking, what do you guys think about the players that don't want to play pressure of playing for the bright lights in LA? That's happened for years. Are we looking at the right guys? I don't know. Was there any guys in particular, JY, that people are looking at that you don't think would play well under the bright lights of LA? Wiggins, he's had some issues before. I don't know. Is that who you're talking about? I'm not sure who you said specifically said they don't want to play in LA recently. I know that's been said before in the past. And Joe and I have heard those stories, but I don't know of anyone right now that has said that they don't want to play for the Lakers because of the limelight in LA, Joe.
I think Kobe said, if you have to be convinced to be a Laker, then you don't belong here.
That's a good point.
And that's as simple as it gets. And I don't think there's going to be a lot of problems there's never been a problem. Stars will come to LA, the real ones. They always do.
Best league, yeah, Giannis is not the best player. Again, you're telling me something that happened over a course of 9 years. I'm showing you the stats that happened over the 5 years of this decade. I win. He wins. I don't want Jokic to be the best player. I want Luka to be the best player because that means the Lakers are better. So, again, Giannis, great player, one of the greatest on the planet. Still can't give. You still can't bring to the table what Jokic can bring to the table.
So let's talk about that. You guys keep yapping about this defense stuff. Giannis is an MVP and a defensive player of the year, all that stuff. What's he known for? More. Even though he's won, what's he really known for? More lately.
You tell me.
22, 23, 24, 25. It's been 4 years. He's in his prime. He plays defense and offense, and he's coming up short a lot.
Yeah, how well is his team?
And he's come up short twice as a 1 seed.
Yeah, you said look at the stats. I'm looking at the stats.
You guys are. You're not listening. You're not listening. Focus on the details. Know the details. And I don't know what is this obsession with always having to talk about who's the best ever or who's the best ever right now. Who cares? This is a team sport. It's about winning a championship with the team. Let Luka be the 5th best player in the NBA and winning a championship. I don't give a shit. That's all I want.
I'm just going to keep putting that in the comments because you guys don't have a good answer for it. You don't have a good answer enough for it with anybody that you bring to it, Giannis or otherwise, for this decade. He is the best player this decade. And I'm hoping Luka will take over that mantle starting this upcoming season.
Jokic had essentially had one of the greatest statistics in NBA history. He was 0.4 points away from a 30 triple-double season. Let me say that again. 30 point season. Triple-double. And he didn't just get 10 rebounds. He had 12.7 rebounds. And he got robbed of the MVP, in my view. He should have been the MVP. Because if he's not on that team, Denver doesn't even make the playoffs. If Shai Gilgeous-Alexander wasn't on the Oklahoma City Thunder, they get bounced in the first round.
So let me ask you a question, Joe. Has Jamal Murray made an all-star team?
No.
Did Damian Lillard make an all-star team?
I think he made 1, maybe 2, eventually.
Damian Lillard? Actually, it's more than that, actually.
I know he wasn't making the all-star team the first 6-7 years. I think he made.
There's just nothing you guys can throw us. We don't want this to be true.
That's not true. I'm sorry. That's not true. He made the all-star. He made the all-star team his 2nd and 3rd year.
Lillard, right?
Yeah.
Who are you talking about? Okay, because Murray hasn't made an all-star team.
Murray hasn't.
Yeah.
But there was a few years in his prime where he didn't make the all-star team. And I'm talking about he played because the West was so heavily guarded as in had such elite guards that he had 2 years where he played 75 games, averaged 25 one year, 27 another year. He was in the top 10 in the MVP and a second team All NBA, and didn't make the All-Star game because of how many elite guards there were.
Guys, give it up. You lose this conversation every single time. I don't even like Jokic all that much. It's just the facts. It's just the facts. He's not even a Laker, so I don't even really want to defend it, but you just cannot avoid the facts. I am hoping that the next 5 years will be Luka, and we will see. He's playing at a really great level right now. Let's let that happen, and then we can revisit this discussion. But right now, you have to give the best player in the world and the best player of this first half of the decade to Nikola Jokic. It's just that simple. You guys know it. When you guys come at us with arguments that are like, oh, that's kind of good. Oh, that's kind of right. Oh, that's kind of, but not all the way right, because you cannot get around the simple thing that I put up right here every time. It's just that simple. 3 MVPs, 2 MVP runner-ups, and a title this decade. And it's only 2025. 3 plus 2 makes 5. Best League says, Gerald, the argument you and Joe use for MJ better than LeBron, I use Giannis better than Jokic. Okay, so you could say that you're talking about the defense for Jokic. I could also talk about the shooting for Giannis. I mean, each one of these guys you talk about when you throw at us has a deficiency to the point where it sticks out. So I don't know. You just, nobody's going to win in this argument. I just have to go by the facts. You have to go by the facts. You have to go with Jokic as of now until someone takes it away from him. Because that's the right, Joe. Isn't that what happens? Someone takes it away from someone else. That spot, that mantle, that thought process, the mindset of the majority of people at large.
I think it's a waste of time.
Yeah. It seems like it, but these guys are just hell-bound on. I love it. I love it. It's a spirited conversation. It's not nasty. It is opinionated, so I do like it, and I respect you guys for it. 100% respect you guys for it. Dirk says he's not Mahomes with 3. No, well, the entire decade, no one's been a repeat winner this decade. No, MJ is better than LeBron. You cannot use that same logic, Best. You cannot use that same logic.
What was there something going on today where everybody's talking about Jokic and Luka and Giannis and who's the best?
It's the Euro League. They get fascinated by the Euro League. I don't know why, but they get fascinated by it because they've got nothing else to talk about, Joe, right now. So the Euro League has just inspired their fascination. So.
I have no desire to talk about this.
Neither do I. I mean, yeah, who has had the better records over the first 5 seasons? Jokic over Giannis. Giannis, you talk about any disappointments in the playoffs for Nikola. What about Giannis? He's had a couple disappointments here and there as well.
I thought I made it clear that they all take turns.
Yeah.
No one's...
Trevone hit it right on the head. They were a number 1 seed, lost to an 8 seed.
It has nothing to do with convincing. There's no one better than Michael Jordan in NBA history.
Yeah.
No one.
There.
Michael did not have any weaknesses, folks. He has 0 weaknesses. He was that good. I saw it with my own eyes. I seen LeBron his entire career. I saw Kobe his entire career. Michael's number 1. It's not even close.
Do you think we want to say that as guys who run a Lakers channel? No, we don't. But it just is what it is. When you see MJ play over the course of his career, you realize no one has achieved that same level of greatness. Sorry, John Costa. maybe it's a generational thing. I'm assuming it's a generational thing.
The-
Younger people usually prefer LeBron over Jordan, but it's just when you see both of them over the course of their careers, you just can't do that, Joe.
Yeah, and if you're going to bring up Bill Russell winning wise, you could call him the best in terms of all time winning, but you also have to understand that at that time you only had 7 or 8 teams. I think 9 at one point before that went, north. You also have to factor in that Bill Russell played with 4 other Hall of Famers during that time. The talent was pretty funneled together with most of these teams. And then you also have to factor in that Bill Russell was never a better basketball player than Michael Jordan, too. Maybe a better defender because he was a taller player, but Bill Russell had a career shooting percentage of 46%.
So who do you think is the best center of all time?
44%, sorry, 44%. Huh?
Who do you think is the best center of all time?
Best center of all time, in my view, is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It should have been Shaq, but it's Kareem.
You can't use that same argument for Giannis as you can for MJ. Come on. You can't. You just can't. Giannis has not achieved a continual level of success that Michael Jordan did. You just can't. You can't. It falls. It tries to get up there, and it just falls because Michael Jordan did something that, as far as achieve a level of singular and team success combined, that no one else has. Bill Russell, yes, more championships. But did he ever achieve a singular level of success that Michael Jordan did? No. Only Michael has achieved both in dominant fashion. Best center ever. I still am partial to Wilt, but that's just me. So, but I understand who could. If you said Russell's the greatest, I would not argue with you on that. If you said Shaq was the greatest, wouldn't argue with that. Akeem, Kareem, I would not argue with that. They're all great centers. So 101. Get out of here, Best. Love you, man. Nothing but love, Best. Nothing but love. Come on. We're not playing horse here. You can't. You cannot use the same kind of logic, Best, with all due respect, and that you can with MJ. It's crazy. This is what happens, Joe, when it's early September. People are waiting for training camp. They're waiting for some big news to fall. Kawhi was last week, and they just need something to talk about, Joe. That's all.
Good deal.
Good deal. I love the chat, though. You guys have been incredible in the chat. Our opinions may be differing, but that doesn't mean we can't respect each other in the chat. Did you guys see that photos Wemby worked out with Hakeem, Garnett, Kareem, and he worked out with Shaq? You know what? Wemby's been doing it all overseas. You saw what he was doing at not the Monk Temple. I'm sure you guys saw what he was doing as far as overseas in Asia, as far as getting some real a different mindset there, helping his healing as far as his healing process, but also his concentration of focus. That guy's a competitor. I see good things out of it. He can stay healthy. I see really good things for him as well. Wemby's going to be a problem. He put a muscle and he's working with these. Yeah, he is. So I think that he could have a say in this conversation later this decade. Maybe even as early as next year. Maybe even this year. It's not a possibility, but his team in San Antonio is not as great around him yet. So. Xbox says Gasol is the best hero ever. He's one of the greatest Euros ever. I'll give you on that one. But Luka's making a point right now. I'll just say that. Trevone says if Walton did get hurt, he would have been the top 5 center of all time. That's a good point. He had a lot. He had probably some skills. Yeah, I would agree with you on that. I barely remember seeing him playing before the Celtics. when he was with the Clippers and with the Blazers. But yeah, he had some real skills. I'll give you that. Russell 11 out of 13 championships, Olympic gold medal. Yeah, no, I mean, obviously his stats say it all. But Joe put up a point as far as the limited number of teams and whatnot. But yeah, you cannot argue about him as a winner. So I won't disagree with you. Best Leg says Jokic average better not happen next season. We'll see. We'll see what happens with Jokic. Again, we want Luka to be the best player on the planet because it helps the Lakers win games. So that is our eventual hope that can happen, but he's not there yet. You can't put him there yet. No matter what happens in your league. Soros says, is Scottie Pippen a top 10 small forward of all time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I put top 10. Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm. All right. And Xbox and Sports Baby are arguing once again. Yes. Death, taxes, and those two arguing. Seems to always be the case.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yes, indeed. So Joe and I are heading out for now, but it's been a great chat. We'll be back on Thursday. Sports Baby, are you putting on the game tomorrow for Germany? I don't know what time it's at. So are you putting on the game tomorrow? Let me know in the thoughts so I can go ahead. So are you encouraged by the recent pitching by the starters in recent days?
Yes, it's unfortunate that they had a chance to have two no-hitters in the same week that were blown, unfortunately, but they did win one out of the two. Unfortunately, they should have won both, but the starting pitching is coming around, and then they're really around. The last 5 starts, they're like a 1.45 ERA.
Really good.
And if Teo gets out of his funk like he did tonight, hit 2 home runs, Mookie's got out of his funk. You always trust Freddie Freeman to do what he does. He had a home run as well tonight. Ohtani, even if he doesn't hit home runs, he's getting on base. He stole a base. He got a single. He got an RBI. He may have had a run. He just a stat filler. Dodgers, unfortunately, have put themselves in a very, very unfortunate scenario. They have 17 games left, and if they don't get past the Phillies, which are 4.5 games behind right now.
4 games right now.
And Philly, I think Philly has the tiebreaker, if I'm not mistaken, at least for right now, because they're going to play the Phillies after the San Francisco series this weekend. If they don't get their act together the next 17 games and win, they're going to probably have to win 14 of the next 17 games to secure the second seed so that they can avoid playing in the 3-game wild card series. But even if they do, they bought their ticket. They're going to have to ride it, and hopefully that extra wild card series gets them some momentum so that when they do get into the NLDS, they can start making a run for the back-to-back title.
We will see what happens, but yes, be encouraged by the starting pitching of the Dodgers. It's been really good as of late. Relief pitching, I hope, picks up the slack before the end of the year as well. So we'll see what happens, and that the hitting starts going. Joe will be a happy man. That's what we want to see. But if you guys have any questions for us or comment below, it's always greatly appreciated. I am still working on something behind the scenes. I'm going to debut here in the coming days. Actually, I've got a hopefully announcement for our Sunday show planned for it. So I'm hoping to go ahead and announce that to the world on Sunday. That would be something for our members first, and to be able to go out to our members first. If you want to become a member today, it's just $2.99 a month indeed. But Joe, been great talking to you. Great, not fighting per se, but having a spirited discussion with our audience. Any last thoughts before we head on
out? Keep it up, guys.
Yeah.
Good dialogue.
A big shout out to Craig. He's here as well. Big shout out to you, Craig.
Craig is a big part of our group here. Always,
I see him.
Always available. Yes, thank you, Craig, for your support.
I don't see him much on the LFB, so I truly thank you for stopping by. I see you always on the Joe Soro experiment. So when's your next experiment, by the way?
I don't have a date yet, but I'll let you guys know probably within the next day or so.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Again, wishing everybody well. Stay well. We'll be back, hopefully, if all goes well, on Thursday. I'll try to drop an Inside Sports Fantasy Football tomorrow sometime. I know that Chris is going to be off the next couple of weeks due to work issues, so I'm going to try and see what I can schedule from there. So we'll try to get that in for you as well. But looking forward to seeing more what's going down. And will the Lakers decide to pull the trigger on a trade for Wiggins? I would hope Powell comes along with it. And if that's the case, that does change things up a little bit more for me. I would go ahead and I would be more interested in that. That makes the Lakers even more interesting. And I'll leave it at that. Sports Baby says tomorrow's game is, don't wake up that early, Sports Baby. Not 4 a.m. in the morning. Don't listen to what Joe would tell you. Because Joe will tell you, just get your ass up and sleep in, Sports Baby. Sleep in. Don't show. I mean, it's great that you would, but yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah. 4 a.m. man. That's not. Yeah. Don't do it. All right. So for Joe Soro, it's me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. Truly appreciate it. We'll be back on Thursday with the recap of what went on for Luka. Does he make it past Germany? Find out from our show, the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.